You should see Facebook pop up.
Shaking over there.
Yeah, that's normal.
Okay.
Fortunately.
Okay.
Hopefully it'll stop.
Oh, we live.
Oh, we live.
Okay.
Oh yeah. What's up, y'all?
All right.
What's up?
There's
Sorry
no
for the technical difficulties.
Yeah.
You know, we blame that on nobody here.
Yeah. That's karma.
It's just what it is. Sometimes it happens. You know, it's raining outside, the wind blowing, all kind of stuff.
Right.
That right, Ty?
Blame it on the rain.
I don't want to.
Can y'all hear us now? Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, it's coming through.
Yep.
Yeah, we can hear
All
it. I heard
It took us a second. That's just
We
technology.
apologize. That's all.
I didn't feel like that was 20 minutes, but it was.
Oh.
Was
Dang.
it?
Yeah,
Oh,
that was 20 minutes.
Dang. Okay.
we gotta hop right into it.
So what's the topic? Let's go.
Let's go.
Let's get with this topic.
We're talking about marriage advice. Marriage ain't for the weak.
It ain't.
No,
Marriage
it's
is
not
not
for the weak
for the weak. It's for the tigers, the lions, and the bears.
whatsoever. So as y'all out there know, Michael and I, we been married twice. We've been let go twice. Laid off.
Our membership has been canceled.
Right. Now, Lazar, you been married what?
I'm only been married for real once, right now.
No, how long you been married?
5 years.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what's
Yeah.
up.
All
Yeah,
right.
Congrats.
Okay.
Congrats.
Yeah, yeah.
Congrats.
I've been in relationships that was considered a marriage based on just getting a marriage license and exchanging rings, but this is the only real marriage that I identify as a marriage.
That's what's up. That's
Okay.
what's up. That's what's up.
If I need to elaborate on that, I will.
I mean, no,
But,
we,
I mean,
I thought I was clear.
Yeah, it's
Okay,
clear.
all
It's
right.
crystal clear.
Yeah.
Like for me, like Ty said, like this is two marriages, first one, second one, and then like the advice that I give to anybody is, it's a learning thing for me. Like I've learned something from each one.
What you learned for the first one?
The first one, I learned a lot about myself. Like one, I feel like I wasn't ready and I was too young.
How long was you married?
The first one, I want to say, I don't want to get it wrong, but I want to say probably 3 or 4, maybe 3 or 4 years.
3 or 4 years?
Yeah. And, I'm not going to, sit here and say it was all one person's fault or this, this, that, and the other, because that ain't what the show is about. But I will say that I learned a lot. I had a lot of growing up to do. In myself, and I didn't know that until I was out of the marriage, because then I look back and I was like, okay, that's what she was talking about, or this, that, and the other. Now along the way there were some things that we just, after a while, it was just like, we ain't happy, and I knew it. You know what I'm saying? So it was just like, if I'm not making you happy, you're not making me happy, then go their separate ways. But I grew up, like my dad and my mom was always together. I never seen them with anybody else. So I was always like, nah, let me try to make this work. And one of the reasons why I wanted to try to make it work was because of my daughter. That was the first, my kid, firstborn. But that wasn't enough. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can't stay in it just for the kids.
Right.
So rule number 1, if you can't get married for some kids and you can't stay in the marriage for some kids.
Got you.
I just don't know.
Y'all too soft.
Go ahead.
Go ahead.
I'm just taking my time into this. I'm listening. I'm like, what's the advice? What can you give?
If you getting married because you in love, you don't need to get married. If you're getting married because you can't live without them, you don't need to be getting married. Stay dating. Marriage is not for the weak.
Okay.
In love, can't live without them.
But you gotta have
weak.
love, though.
Whatever.
You gotta have love.
You gotta have some feelings. But here's the thing: love ain't kept nobody married whatsoever. They love you today, and they don't tomorrow.
But that can't be the only. I mean,
No,
I agree with you.
You
That can't be
gotta
the only
be married
ingredient.
because you are in it and willing. Because you go into it making a commitment, and now you have responsibilities. If you ain't willing to sustain that commitment or take care of those responsibilities, don't get married. If you just get married because you love her and you can't live without her, stay dating.
But Ty, okay, I feel what
Ain't
you're
no
saying.
buts to
No,
it.
listen to me.
That's,
Listen.
you got to think about it. The divorce rate is like what, 60%?
Okay, but there may have
But
been
unpack that. Like,
Yeah, it may
why?
have.
Why do we
Yeah.
think? Why is the divorce rate at what it is? Now think about this. I'll say this. Think about this. I don't disagree with you, Ty, or agree with you. I just think that we set out to create life or a life with somebody, right? And in doing so, some of us may rush into something. Some of us may take our time. Some people may not get married for 10 years, but been together 10 years.
Right.
So you really married in that amount of time.
Right.
And some people can get married. I had an aunt and an uncle who got married 3 months after they met each other and still married right now. That was 50, almost 45 years ago, right? So it's circumstance.
Right.
It really depends on if you getting married for only love, that ain't enough, right? If you getting married for money, that ain't gonna last.
Right.
Nope.
And that definitely ain't enough. But
Right.
it ain't damn sure ain't gonna last.
Right.
Because ain't no love there.
Right.
Right.
That's what I was gonna say. That my point was gonna be like in the beginning. Sometimes the representative, people can play that representative for a little bit.
Unpack the representative.
The representative is the falsehood of
Right.
oh my God,
Your 90-day
like,
employee.
like that representative that you run into. You thought this person was this. You thought he was this. You thought she was this. Y'all was all googly eyed.
Is it your thinking or is him or her pretending?
I think
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah, I think
if you're
it's
thinking that person is something, are they showing you that or are you
Right.
assuming that?
right. Just like when your first 90 days on the job,
Right.
you
putting
on
your
time.
best foot
Oh, yeah,
forward.
yeah.
you
On
straight.
time
You-
every day.
Everything is all gravy. You there, you speaking and this. Check in with that person after a year, after they 1 year anniversary or they 2 year anniversary. They done got relaxed. They come in late.
Check in with them after they realize they ain't about to get a raise. Then you will see their real commitment level.
Right. So my point was like, okay, so in the beginning, like, yeah, it can't just be one thing or this, that, and the other. Like you said, you grow together. Like that's what we forget about in a marriage. You still growing. You're not gonna know everything about this individual.
Right.
And then sometimes people change.
But also,
But you got to be committed to that growth.
you have to be if you're now we're talking when in a marriage, right? So we're not talking about girlfriend boyfriend.
No.
So in a marriage, yeah, there are sacrifices, there are disciplines, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for me, in my experience, it's like certain things I don't need to know, right?
Mm-hmm.
Certain things I'm not going to bring up. I'm not going to ever focus on what you focus on that you don't like about you, right? I can't feed that. I can't do anything with that.
Right.
So what I focus on is removing that identity that you created for yourself away from you just by paying attention to you. I know something bother you. Most people focus on what you don't like about you and use it against you. That's what happens in a lot of relationships and marriages, because if your wife or your husband say, I don't like my ears, right? And be serious about it, serious about it. And then at some point y'all get in an argument about leaving the microwave open, you bring up his ears or her ears, then
calling them Dumbo and
it's
everything.
all of that, right? All of that play a part in destroying the marriage. Like, to build a marriage, you have to be understanding.
Right,
You have to have you have to be built for this.
Right.
And what I mean by that is when you choose him or her, if that's him or her, you got to understand I have to sacrifice, I'm going to have to discipline, I'm going to have to think twice about what I say and how I say it. I'm going to have to be compassionate, I'm going to have to be kind. All those things you're already equipped with, you just have to put them to work.
Now, okay, yeah, you have to be all those things, like you said, compassionate and kind, despite how you feel.
Despite, because a feeling is only a feeling.
Right.
This is life. This is your life you're trying to create. If you feel like, damn, he getting on my nerve or she getting on my nerve today.
But understand that's
gonna happen.
That's gonna happen.
It's gonna happen.
It's two people trying to become one. That's what it's supposed to be. Unity. I'm not gonna wake up every morning and you gonna be my favorite person.
Just make it plain.
No.
You're not gonna be my.
But she got to be.
Okay.
No.
Because going. What I mean by that is you ain't got to necessarily say it.
Yeah.
But that got to be your favorite person if it's going to work. It's got to be your best friend if it's going to work.
I know what Mike's saying. You are not gonna wake up every day and like your spouse. It just ain't gonna happen.
I don't know, man. I don't dislike my spouse. Like, and I'm not just saying it. Like,
I'm say you gonna dislike them, but you ain't gonna like
you gonna. I'll tell you what I to semi agree with y'all is like. My wife knows 5 o'clock in the morning. Do not ask me anything because I'm moving, right? I'm preparing my entire day out in thought.
Right.
So if you hear this music playing, you see me, you hear me moving around. Don't say to me, "Hey, honey, on Wednesday, are we still doing this?" You know what I'm saying? Like, we're not doing that till Wednesday night. Don't ask me that, right? But what I mean by that is how do you respond to those things, right? How is your response to what irks you about the moment? Because it's just a moment,
right?
It don't last forever.
It took her some time to
learn that.
That's it.
And
that's
to be
it.
able to
That's
understand.
right. You got that.
And there's things that she requires, like, okay, I need this.
Right.
And y'all,
if he up and he moving like that, let me not say nothing because I know he's doing.
Right.
I know what that means.
Right.
Once you understand and ask some questions, ask every question you need to ask that's relatable and that's going to build what y'all have, not tear down, not destroy, not push a wedge in between, because we find ourselves, society has you to believe you have to know everything, every person, what she thinking, who she on the phone with. You don't need that.
Nope.
What
can you do with it?
I promise you, I had to learn that the hard way. Like, I was a real jealous, insecure. Who you talking to? Who calling you? Where you going?
Hear a guy voice is your cousin. That ain't your cousin.
Dude,
and it is.
Like, cause I was under the impression, like, when with actually both, but I felt like in my mentality, and I'm being transparent, like, I felt like I was the lucky one. I wasn't good enough, but they chose me. That I felt like that on both ends, cause people would walk around and see us and they'd be like, you bagged that. like, you know what I'm saying? But and I was always insecure. And so it showed up heavily. And it showed up not only just in that, it was more so like, okay, it's like this, straight up. I need a man, not a little boy. I don't need another child mentality in the house. I need a man. And I just, from my dad was real passive. So I didn't see like, you know what I'm saying? I didn't have that grit. I didn't have that.
You was like, you want to sip my juice? You want to sip my juice?
Sip my
that
juice?
was you?
Yes, babe. Yes, babe. Whatever you want, babe. Okay, however you want to do it. No, grit. Right. No.
My juice.
Right. And my mom, rest her soul, she called it out. And then even they always be like, "Oh, you too nice." Like, if you find a woman that with some grit, like, "Oh no, you too nice." You do. But now, nah.
You understand?
Yeah, I've learned, and actually,
you understand order.
Yeah, and now it's like, I think the advice I give myself, like, I know for a fact I'm not ready for a marriage.
Right.
I'm not mentally.
And that's a good thing. You know, you're not mentally ready for that. That's a great thing. But when we're in a marriage, though, it requires, I mean, you guys know this because y'all been there. It requires work, and it's constant. It's every single day. Not just work on your marriage, but work on you too.
Yeah.
How to present the right person for that person on a regular basis. Because as men, we out in this world, we hustling hard. We up against everything. Everything is up against
lined up against me.
Everything. But it's the fact.
It's a fact.
Everything. Right. Especially as an African American male, everything is against you already. So when you get home and you gotta be the husband,
right?
See, out on the streets, you gotta be a wolf, you gotta be a fox, you got to be a hustler, you got to be a number of things in the streets, but at home, you got to be a husband.
Right.
And how do you be a husband? How do you sit there and you done heard all this nonsense from your homeboys and out in these streets, you got pulled over, all kind of things happen. You get home and she just want to talk tea.
Yep.
How do you sit there and do that? It's called discipline.
Yeah.
You have to be able to be able to be like, I know I don't want to hear this, but she want to say it.
Right.
Which one is more important?
That's tough.
You got to define that. What's more
tough,
important?
Yeah.
I don't want to hear it, but she want to say it.
Right.
I committed to this person.
Right.
which means what? I committed to listening,
Listen,
eating the food.
I don't mind listening, but I don't want to listen for 2 hours.
But you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah,
But
I got you.
who do?
Yeah, I got.
But
you.
at some point, you got to figure out a way to listen the way you want to listen. You know, also at some point start implementing things inside it, even if it's just a touch feel. Like, let me change the subject some kind of way without her know I'm changing the subject.
Right.
And he said, listen, not hear.
Not listen, yes.
Listen.
Listen.
Because there will be a quiz.
It will be
Oh,
a
you
quiz.
better be listening.
You better
Because
be
guess what?
listening.
You did you hear what I said? And then there was always the, well, what did I say?
Oh, you did.
gotta
That's
say-
just
you gotta
what you
echo back.
said.
say what you
So-
said again. That's what
right.
you said.
So
Right.
tip number 2, get your listening skills
Get your
up.
listening skill. Pay attention.
Attention. Yeah.
Yeah.
No matter what. Pay attention.
Actually, you should want to pay attention
'Cause
because
you gonna
what
need
bothers
that.
her should bother you.
You're going to need
Even
that.
Should, but
I mean, it has to, because from what I've been told, and correct me if I'm wrong, why what I'm going through ought to affect you if we equally yoke. Like, what I'm going through, you should be affected by it. You shouldn't just brush me off because those are my feelings. But I think us as men, we're not in our feelings like that as much. So it's like, for us, it's like, okay, just leave me alone, give me a minute. So I feel like they should have to understand when I say I'm good, I'm straight, don't pry, don't keep on asking me, just let me deal with it. And as fickle as it may sound, I'll come to you and talk to you about it when I'm ready. But a lot of times it's like, no, honey, just tell me what's wrong, share your feelings.
Why you got to use that voice, though?
No, honey, just let it out. I'm here. Come cry on my shoulders. Like,
That's the Karen in them. That's just the Karen.
it's they do, but I just need you to understand, like, not right
Give me a
now.
minute.
Give me a minute, because I may end up, especially if I'm not ready to. I haven't thought this out through myself, so I don't know how to release that into the world. Because what I really want to do is be like, yeah, my boss, I'm about to him up, like, you know what I'm saying?
You want her to get the back.
Yeah, and I want you to be
That's
behind
right.
me. But she's already gonna be like, you know that you've been there for 10 years, 20 years, that you're gonna mess up the bag and blah, blah, blah. We don't need that at the moment.
Nah, see, we got to have an understanding of, again, that's creating an understanding throughout. That's her not paying attention. See,
But,
she has to pay attention to you to know that when you say that, like, that's what you mean. I don't need you to tell me not to do it.
okay.
Not in that moment, anyway.
But y'all missing the one key element in everything that you're saying. Everything that you're saying is absolutely right. I get you all 100%. But all of these tidbits and these understandings and these learnings don't come in year 1, 2, or 3. You got to put in work.
Gotta put the
get
work
to
in.
year 5, 6, 7, 8.
Yes.
Before
Yes.
you actually start to be really in tune
Yes.
with what you need to do and how you need to do it. The problem is we think marriage is just dating legally and it's gonna be the same thing in the same way and we gonna be all in love and all this and everything, but it's nothing like dating whatsoever at all.
Dating, I mean, you have requirements in what some would like to call and some people may think this is a negative word when actually it's not. You have requirements and restrictions. You should restrict yourself, right? There are certain restrictions in a marriage because restriction number 1 is stepping outside of it. That's a restriction.
Right.
Definitely.
You know,
Definitely.
so you have, and the requirement is to make sure, though, if there's an issue that we need to talk about, we're required to talk about it, right?
Right.
There are times when I know my wife is upset with me, right? I can hear her walk down the hall and swing in the air, swing and kick it in the air. I can hear her, right? And I'll be cracking up.
Right.
She don't know I
Right,
hear her.
right,
She probably know now, but she don't know. But I understand because I don't expect us to agree all the time.
Thank you.
But how you handle the disagreement is
Facts.
the grown up
Facts.
Right.
How you handle that, because if you know one thing I know about her is she don't like conflict, right? She avoids it at all costs. But when she needs to say what she needs to say, she'll say it. We'll be in the same house. We never not sleep in the same. That ain't gonna ever happen, right? But we need to adjust our energy, adjust what we really, because I'm not angry at you. I'm angry about what we're talking about,
The
which
situation.
don't last.
Right. The
That
situation
can
is
go.
temporary.
Right.
That's temporary. So I
Right.
can never say you, this is what it is. Not
Right.
you, not you, is this.
Right.
So let's get this together. Then let's get back to us.
Right. So we got in the comments our fam out there, they going ham over this one phrase that I absolutely hate. Happy wife, happy life.
That is a
Also,
whack line. I'm just
Yes,
gonna keep it
it's the
100, right?
most
It's happy,
one-sided line.
happy you, happy me.
Oh,
Happy
I'm
me,
good
happy
with
you.
Happy spouse,
Happy house.
Yeah.
I like my own thing, you know.
Yeah.
Happy us, let's get it. You know
I
what
do
mean?
not like the notion that okay. First of all,
Go ahead, get into it.
well,
Ty.
I ain't married no more, so ain't nobody come for me. I ain't married and I'm single, so can't nobody come for me. First of all, happy wife, happy life. That's saying that it's your husband's responsibility to make you happy. And it's nobody's responsibility to make you happy but you. It ain't my job as a husband to make you happy. If you ain't happy, check yourself. Figure it out, get happy, and come back to me, and we'll work on
And we do some
something
happy
else.
things, huh?
Yes. No, that's like saying if I don't keep you happy, then my life about to be hell. No.
That's interesting. That's interesting.
I-
When you
I feel
unpack
like-
that, you think
I
about
feel
that
like
because I
that.
do feel like I feel what he's saying.
I get it, but I feel like
What is happiness? though?
you should assist in the happiness. You should assist
My
with help.
happiness is your happiness is not my responsibility. I'm not saying as a husband you got to be an a-hole, and I'm not saying you not supposed to treat your wife right and be loving and caring and stuff like that. But I'm doing that because it's my responsibility.
So let me ask
and
you
I
this, Ty.
love and care for you.
What are the top three things that you feel will make you as a husband happy? And do you feel those? You ain't got to answer them out loud. I'm
As a
just-
husband to make me happy,
Right. And think about what your answers and say, what role in that does she play?
but it's not her responsibility.
But if she's not doing those things, are you going to be happy?
But what are
she
those
has a
things?
role.
Oh, I see what you're saying. I see
You see
what
what
But
I'm
you're
if
saying?
my happiness is dependent on you doing something,
saying. Right. All right.
then that's a problem.
That yeah.
Because what happens when you
Don't.
don't do it or you physically can't do it anymore?
Like cooking that
you
chicken,
get
cooking that
ill
chicken
or
extra
something
crispy.
like that.
Right.
Stove's
Then
not working.
now I'm not happy anymore.
I mean, I get what you're saying. I'm just trying to.
But how are we defining happiness, right? Because I get what you're saying. Like we can't.
ask yourself the questions like, what makes you as a husband, or because it's going to be different for different people based on what they, like you said, what they define as happy.
Okay, let's put it like this. So we all know typically when you dating, you getting premium circle and you're getting it all the time
Right.
from the one you date.
Right.
And when you get married, ain't nobody gonna sit here and lie and say that circle amount don't drop down. So
Oh, okay.
okay, so most men circle make them happy. So
Okay.
you mean to tell me the moment she go from every day to once a week, she killed your happiness?
Answer the question. Answer the question. But my question is, what role does you saying?
Well, she play a role.
Okay.
You ain't keeping yourself happy. I mean,
I'm saying she, like you said, she in the beginning it was every day.
all the time.
and-
wilding out.
Okay,
Now
so then-
y'all got some kids.
There's a pivot in that. In the
Yeah,
beginning, you
the
have to
kids are the
understand
pivot.
you.
But that's what I'm saying. We
Even
can't,
in science,
it's not
So
her
I
there's
think
variables.
I think y'all
it's
saying
not
the
her
same thing. Yeah.
responsibility to keep me happy.
Right.
So we got kids, stuff drop off. I gotta understand. I still love
Right.
her. We still move on. I'm still happily in love, although in love don't exist.
But you're
I'm
gonna
still happily
complain to her
love
that you're gonna complain that she wasn't doing it like she was doing it before the
I
marriage.
Not
may
if
say
he don't define his happiness based on what she does.
do.
Okay.
If he
Yeah.
doesn't define, because I you can't like because that's irresponsible thinking. Like I'm only happy if you doing this for me, or if you making me dinner every night.
Right.
If I'm taking the car, if I'm washing the clothes, like those are things that just should be done. Right.
Right. Okay.
That don't make me happy. What makes me happy should be the individual being living a life, creating a life, talking, enjoying each other, whatever we're creating, these moments, these intimate moments that feed
Memories.
right. Memories, thoughts, and things that we share that feed that has nothing to do with clothes or feeding or food
Right.
or cars or status and none of that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Happiness is again, it's whatever you
within.
think it is within.
Right.
So because it's within, you sharing your piece of happiness with somebody else's piece of happiness, and y'all creating a together happiness.
Mm-hmm.
That person has to already be happy about themselves already.
I get that. I don't think an unhappy person can make somebody else happy.
Not at all.
I
How?
agree with
They can't
that.
even make themselves happy.
Right. I agree with
You
that.
can't even do you first.
But
Right.
let's based on the equation,
Based on the equation.
you got two happy people that's happy with themselves. That feel like, okay, I'm happy, this, that, and the other. If something that you're doing or not doing brings me a certain kind of feeling, that might make me unhappy with you.
But how? But so no, you have
I'm
to,
still happy
you
with
have to
myself.
you have to figure out why you feel like that. If
You're not.
if she comes home,
at something they did.
look, it's like this, right? She usually come home at 8:30. She get home at 10:45.
No, I ain't happy about that.
You ain't happy about that. Why? Because you don't want to accept what she. Well, honey, it was traffic, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. And she's never done it before.
But okay, but
I'm
if
not
it-
happy.
if it- if
but
it-
why are
if
you
it-
late? Well, honey, I'm not late. It was this, and that's it. She want to leave it alone. 'Cause
Right.
flip it.
I get you.
It's you.
Yeah.
You ain't lying about nothing.
Right.
You come home at 10:45. She not used to that. It's not
Right.
about not
Mhm.
liking it. It's just not what you do.
But that's where communication comes to. And it, to me, that's another good
It
advice.
is.
Communication.
Communication is
You
key.
shouldn't be surprised about anything that I got going. So if I'm gonna be late and this is gonna be a pattern, honey, I'm working on this project.
Mhm.
We work late hours, this, that, and the other. There's gonna be times where I can get off and get out of there, and I may be home at 8. Sometimes I might be at home at 10. I'm letting you know that up front, so there will be no surprises.
But it's
if
all-
you need to call me, call me.
It's how you respond. I mean, I'm gonna be a perfect example. A friend of my wife passed away this week, and her and a bunch of filmmaker friends went and celebrated her life yesterday. Right?
Mhm.
She left at 7:00. Right? It was like 11:00 when she came home. I called her one time because I'm on. For me, it's like it's dark. It's late.
Mhm.
For me, you out by yourself.
Right.
Like, what up, though? What you doing?
Mhm.
She's at the play. Okay. I ain't worried about it.
Right.
Same thing with her. She'll shoot me, hey, honey. Like, and I know the hey, honey means based on what time it is. Yeah, you got about an hour or two. I'm just saying, I can
Right,
sense
you-
it,
yeah,
but I'm
you know.
okay with that.
Yeah,
I
yeah, for sure.
I don't need an explanation because
Right.
she kind of know where I'm at because I'm
Right.
always doing something. I'm always doing some work. But the way I look at it, I don't. Some men get upset about it.
Yeah,
You know
yeah,
this.
yeah,
Why
yeah,
you keep
for sure.
texting me? Stop
Yeah.
texting me.
Right.
Now you done created something in her head.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I
Even if
feel
you
that.
just
I
out
feel that.
doing this, having some
Right.
good, genuine fella talk,
Right.
and why you stop texting me? You done created an unnecessary
Very-
thought in her head.
Yeah. You birthed something.
You birthed something.
Yeah.
So again, it's about how do you communicate and
Man, I
how do
wish I
you
would've-
handle those things.
I wish I would have learned that a long time ago.
I didn't know
Well,
this.
how to
Look,
communicate.
No. Like get that in check because I feel like that was one of the key things that insecurity thing.
Oh man, that'll
Bro,
crush
like-
everything.
I'm just you got to be doing something.
Cause you making up
I ain't-
stories. You making up
Look,
dudes. You making up
in
Jeffrey.
My head,
He
like
done
in
made
my
up. He done
head.
made up Jeffrey. Who is
Dude,
Jeffrey?
Right.
In my head, like I couldn't get out of my own way. But that was because I felt like, oh, if you want to hang out, you should be hanging out with me. Oh, if you want to go to the movies, you should be going to the movies with me. If you want to go, like totally smothering that out of the relationship,
Yeah.
Putting the
not
fire
giving
out.
her space,
You
not
putting the fire out.
giving her time to miss me. I
Yep.
missed all of that. I missed all of that, and it like even the second marriage that was an issue. You know, successful woman,
Mhm.
military on her stuff. It's a predominantly male field in the first place.
Swinging is everywhere. Huh?
Listen, I mean, look,
Sticks everywhere.
look,
I know.
What's going on?
I'm putting on camouflage in the bushes. Where you going on lunch? Who you going with? Nah, nah. And she would
Got the
say,
scope out.
and because she was in charge, it would be like, hey, I gotta, take the colonel. People have to call her because she is an officer.
Mm-hmm.
Call her in the middle of the night. She got to go. I'm like, gotta go with you. It was tough though. Like that was another thing, and it's, I wish I would have got that in check a long time ago. So speaking on understanding and communication and this, that, and the other, sometimes you could be communicated to, but if your mind ain't right, don't mean nothing.
That's true.
So,
That's true.
Tip number, I don't know what Uncle Clifford say, 875-76. Get your mind right. Get your mind on both sides of the fence.
That ain't not just your mind. Get your issues right.
True.
Before you go marrying somebody, thinking somebody gonna fix your issues.
Right.
You better go
Facts.
get some
Facts.
therapy before you walk down that
on
aisle.
both sides of the fence.
Yeah.
On both
And
sides of the
then
fence.
also pay attention. Like, pay attention to what that person is really telling you, both sides. Like, she may not have seen what you were doing immediately, right? Until she became angry about it.
Right.
Until you became, because you showed anger about it. Now she's becoming angry about what you're creating for y'all. Like, it don't exist on her side. On your side, you done built the whole thing. You done built the whole story, book, movie, and all.
Look.
On your side.
Look, she used to tell me all the time when we be arguing, I'm just gonna tell you, yeah, that's it. Cause you got this, you know,
because you ain't backing down.
Yeah, I done wrote the script. I done told you how it went
You
down.
done shot it and everything.
Everything.
Got the BET award for it and everything. Did it all.
I'm like,
and the winner
there's
is what?
nothing you can tell me that this ain't how that went down.
Created a whole
lie
truth.
I'm guilty on that. So
A whole lie truth.
if you watch it, I apologize because I know that was hell.
And I'm glad you said that.
Yeah, for sure.
Knowing when to
I'm gonna try
apologize.
this one.
You have to know when you said or done something wrong. You have to admit that to your wife or your husband.
Tip number 75.
I know I probably responded to that a little aggressive. I'm sorry. I apologize.
Okay,
But how
so
many times do you
say
say you sorry?
Well, don't do
It's
too many
different
things to
from
say
men.
you sorry though.
No, that's
But I'm
not
sa-
what he's talking about.
I'm talking about
He
for the
means
same offense.
issue.
One time. If you do it first, let's be clear. If you doing something more than 2 times, you done it. You doing it on purpose.
No. He's talking about how many times do you
You mean-
apologize?
Oh,
For the same
for
offense.
so
that
basically you
same
saying
offense.
so you saying something else happened. She bring that back up.
Right.
Is that what we talking about?
Like okay. All right. So I apologize for doing X, Y, and Z. Every time we have a sit down and talk, you reach back and bring that up.
She got to figure that out.
And never, I just, something ain't right. Now, granted, I'll be honest, to make it fair, I did not reveal the truth in the beginning.
Don't make it fair because we not talking about you specifically. Don't make it fair. Make it what he said. How many times you got to apologize about the same thing? The only reason a person would have to continuously apologize if the other person keep bringing it up, right? If the other person keep bringing it up, the other person didn't accept your apology the first time. You see what I'm saying?
Or
so
do they feel like something was missing? You didn't give me
something was
truth?
missing, but you if you stay there, you'll never repair it. You'll never be able to get past it. You have to understand: is this more important than the rest of our life?
Dang.
Is it? Is this if this situation outside of infidelity, outside of cheating and all of that, is this more important than the rest of our life?
Okay, so let me ask this. Do we get to define what cheating is to that other person? Or how long it
cheating
takes
is
for them?
being in the circle.
Okay. So
I don't care if it's one or just the tip.
okay.
Being in the circle is cheating.
Okay. So if I didn't go that far or things didn't go that far and it was just like, oh, you was talking to X, Y, and Z. Oh, you know what? I ain't tell you about that because I didn't know how you was gonna react. I apologize for it, blah, 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 blah. But I'm caught busted, red-handed. This is what it is.
Most
But
men,
that-
of us, and this is unfortunate for us because this is the way of men, we will not reveal the whole story thinking we're saving ourselves from a piece of what's happening. When the truth is, 98% of the women know the whole story.
They just want to see what you
They want to see if you're going to tell the whole story. And when you don't, they'll forgive you because they're forgiving creatures. But they will stick that little piece.
Forget.
That little piece is there forever,
Ever.
and she
no matter
can't
what you do,
wait.
what you say.
She can't, and I'm not talking. This is not every woman. These are a lot of women.
You gave
Can't
a
wait.
percentage. You gave a
Can't
percentage.
wait to bam pow, because all you really had to do here, because you already look. The sentence has already been handed out anyway.
Right.
It's already murder.
Right.
It don't matter. It's 2, 3, 4. Hey, here all the killers. Here's everybody.
Right.
Get it done. That way, You ain't got to hold on to it, walking around pretending, walking around hoping she ain't see this, walking around
trying to remember your lies.
What did I say? Did I tell her that? Damn it, I don't remember.
You
don't want that.
Yeah, for sure.
So, but that's just the nature of men, though. That's just what that is. Some men can just go in and go hard and just let it all out.
Right.
Some men like, nah, I don't want that to hurt her.
Yeah, that's
when
what
the
I'm
fact
saying.
is, it already hurt her.
Right.
And it's
sure.
hurting you.
Yeah.
Because you
it
know
was
you
just
keeping
I'm
it.
trying to protect you from something, but actually, it really was in my mind.
And we're talking about marriages. We're not talking about just
right.
relationships.
In my mind, it wasn't. I knew where her mind was gonna go.
But it was already there.
I'm just like, dang,
It's already
where do
there.
I go from here? Like, it's crazy. Like, what do I do? So it's just like, all right, well, whatever you think happened, blah, 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 that's what it is. Because on the flip side, I had to eat this.
You
my
have
same
to
thing.
recognize the form of questioning. When the woman is questioning you into a certain degree and you hear that little tone at the back of her voice, she know everything.
Yeah,
Ain't no question.
yeah,
That look she give you, I don't mean the elevator. I mean
Right.
that when it gets quiet and slick,
mm-hmm.
she know everything. You in trouble already.
Yeah, yeah,
Getting out of it is telling the whole thing and letting it go. Let her not have to keep asking questions. She's trying to give you an opportunity. She asked the first question. You tell everything the first question. Don't wait for the second, third, fourth.
Right.
Because
Just
the
get it
second
all
and third,
out.
fourth is just repetitive.
Just get it all out.
Just get it all out. And that's both ways. A woman can tell you everything at once. You deal with it.
But here's the thing that I don't like about that. Here's the thing.
That's the
Here's the
difference.
thing. Oh no, you ain't gonna keep questioning me. But I told you everything. Blah blah blah. You. This ain't no interrogation. I gave you everything up front. Blah blah blah. It's done. I'm not gonna keep apologizing. We like okay.
But
For
again,
them,
but see, that's their way. That's
it
their
was
way
different.
of trying to make you, because that's a lie too. They're
Yeah.
trying to make you believe it's done. This is what it is. That's it. They think that going that route
Mm-hmm.
is gonna get you out the way.
Right.
It's everything. Go about your business. No, not true. But again, is it more important? That's the only
key.
thing that's going.
That's the key on both
I believe
sides.
that's the only thing. Cheating is the only thing that will put a wedge somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Everything else you can. Hey, no, finance, you can figure that out.
Right. Right.
Argument about, I don't care what you're arguing about the microwave being open, the garbage, you can figure that out.
Right.
Those are solutions, right?
Mm-hmm.
Those things don't stick around. They only stick around if you force them around, if you keep them around. You keeping unnecessary arguments around about why you ain't played the lottery, we mentioned the lottery number. You gonna talk about that a whole year?
Right.
But people do, and
People
marriages
do.
break up
Yes.
because of it.
People do.
Yeah, like I don't understand. Like, okay, it's like I think men have to be. I want to say like more forgiving. Like when it comes to like every situation, because we're naturally, to me, it's like we're just not that hard to please. Like we don't. It's not a whole bunch that we require. So it's like just it's easier for them. For us, it's like go out here, protect me, hunt, get the food, be this listening soft person when I need you to be the thug when I need you to be the breadwinner when I need you to be, look after the kids, help me with this, help me with that, the whole kit and caboodle. And it's just like, yeah, I'll go to work if I want to, and I'll look after your kids, and I'll do this and I'll do that. And you like, look, I'm tired.
But see, you would do that unconsciously for the right person, though, because it'd be unconscious. When you in love, and more than in love, when you with somebody you know you want to be with, that shit don't even matter.
Right.
Because you don't even think about it.
Right.
Because you just living. You living like, oh, what you need me to do?
Mhm.
Okay, cool. Same thing with her. Look, let me tell you something. My wife will cook even when I'm like, no, I'm good.
Mm.
I'll be in the front room, here come my whole plate. I'm like, I could be upset. I said I was good, but you know what I do?
Eat it anyway.
Eat it anyway. Because in her mind,
I'm taking care
she's
of my man.
already in that cycle.
Mm-hmm.
To be like, I know he been working his behind off today. Boom, boom. I know he loved this. Boom. And you're right. I am simple. I can eat a salad every day.
Right. Right.
She knows how simple I am, but she wants to make sure that she is doing the part she wants to do. She
Right.
wants to make sure he eats.
Right.
She wants to make sure she come in and hold on to me, hug me, and kiss me, and go about her business. That's just what they gotta do. She wants
and
to.
you can't
stop
deny them
that.
You
Don't
can't
deny. Why would
Not
you?
a good woman. Now there's some women out here that.
But you
hopefully
know
don't
that
marry-
you.
yeah,
But you know
that
who's
don't
good
marry
and who's
them.
bad for you.
You don't marry them.
You know, you just know. Even when you do marry them, you like you got to outdate on those. You do.
Yeah, there's
You know it's coming
Right.
because you say it at some point when
This
you
ain't
driving.
it.
You done got your bag. You in the car. Wait to get out of this.
Right. Yeah.
Even if you go back and apologize for a year or two, you know when it ain't right. But
Right.
it's we as men, sometimes we go, I'm gonna try to work it out. Like you said earlier, we got a son. I'm gonna go back and do this. But happiness, again, like Ty said, it's yours to do. It's yours
Right.
to create.
Mm-hmm.
And if this is not making you happy, not that, not her, not him. If this ain't making you happy, I'm gone.
But that's the problem. Too many people are getting married for the wrong
reasons. Oh, I love you. I want to be with you the rest of my
Right.
life.
You make me feel good.
That should go without saying.
Right. Because, I mean, it's a lot of people who fall into that, oh, you make me feel good for a moment. But they ain't really worth the ground that they walking on.
She say, wrap this up.
Okay. Where we at?
I thought she was over there stretching her hands at first. I did see her like, starting off subtle. And then she like, hey, nobody's
Dang.
listening.
Okay, so yeah, so hit them with those final thoughts, Mike.
All right. So, I mean, I'm no way, shape, or form the go-to person for advice, given my track record. But I will say, shout out to both of my ex-wives because I've learned something from each one of them. Definitely no love lost at all. It's growing pains on both sides. I would imagine that you look back at it, and the advice that I would give anybody is if you're not ready for marriage, don't. Do a self-reflection. Get all of your stuff together before you go and try to incorporate another individual in your life, because that's just going to be the best thing to do. Don't try to wing it. It doesn't matter if you feel like this person came along and you feel like, hey, this is the time I might lose them. It's better for you to wait till you're 100% corrected and then go look for that person or build with that person than to go in it and be like, all right, yeah, I'm 75% good. Because that 25% that you still holding on to from whatever past drama you have, that could come into your marriage and it start growing and growing and growing and growing, and then you ruin another one. So I know this time I'm not never getting married again, but I know I am definitely gonna get myself and my mentality together before I even indulge in something serious. So that's my number one piece of advice.
Oh,
Ty?
I ain't getting married again. So this is what I say. Y'all better understand what marriage is before y'all walk down those aisles. You need to, if you need to get advice from people that's been in it a while and who has been through the struggles, been through the good and bad times, so you can truly understand what marriage is and stop thinking that it's this fairy tale and it's going to make you super happy and you're going to be in love forever. Because one, divorce ain't cheap whatsoever at all.
Coming from a finance guy. You knew he was
Coming from a finance guy.
he always gonna bring the money up.
But it's more than money. Is of course it costs a lot. It costs a lot on your mental psyche.
Yeah.
It costs with the kids and everything.
For sure.
And you giving up a lot. So you better understand what you getting into before you walk down that aisle just because you want to be a princess and wear this dress and get a ring to show off to your friends. And then you end up in some hell. Even if y'all have, it's been too many people that's been dating for 100 years, get married, and then divorced after 2. No,
True.
because they don't understand what exactly marriage is. And you better find out. Look.
Uh-oh.
Look, too often us church folks, when we get married, we go to marriage counseling for a week or 2 before the wedding. Once we got engaged, you better be in marriage counseling for a good 6 months before you walk down the aisle, and then 6 months after. Because the honeymoon phase only lasts while you on vacation. When you get back home, you gonna get the real.
You need a part 2, Ty?
No, I get sick of people hopping into stuff that they ain't ready for. You know, it's like thinking you going to work for GM and then they send you off to Iraq for war. Like, what the? I ain't signed up for this. I thought I was just gonna be on the line somewhere. No, you on the line. You on the
Tighten them
line.
screws.
Right, you signed that
Tighten up them
dotted
boots.
line. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I think for me, don't go in with a feeling. Go in knowing.
Okay.
That's number one. Definitely communication. Respect not just each other, but respect each other's boundaries, right? Give each other a space to breathe, right? And receive, because within the breathing, you receiving, if that makes sense to anybody, right?
I got you.
For me, also, it just know what you're getting into, know what you're creating. If you're not serious, if you got an inkling of a doubt, that just means no, right? If you don't have any doubt, understand, prepare yourself for sacrifice, discipline, kindness, and being a different version of yourself. That when you're a different person if it's just you. When you're married, it's y'all.
For sure.
It's a together thing. And then find what y'all have in common and work that. Me and my wife, we have a lot of things in common, and that's what works for us. We knew that before we got married, though. Right? And that feeds our marriage. We're able to communicate on levels most or some marriages can't, because we have so much in common. We do a lot of laughing. That's the next thing.
Right.
Laugh, 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 smile, laugh, laugh.
Man,
That ain't nothing but fuel.
See, not to interject, but I feel like that we had a lot of those things. I don't know. We need a part 2.
You know what? These days, so many people think they know what marriage is, and they think it's so Hollywood and fairy tale that people ain't even having cold feet anymore. It's like cold feet are gone.
I think we're gonna have to do a part 2.
Yeah, we might.
We're gonna have to do a part 2 and open up a forum or something. I don't know. Maybe have some veteran.
It's just different
need to-
views for different folks. Some
Yeah.
people can get married 10 years and last 100. Some people can be married for 10 and get divorced in 20. Some
Right.
people can get married and then get annulment in 3 months. You know what I'm saying? It just depends on what you bringing into it. What are you really going into? How are you going into that?
And think about it. Divorce is a
Wrap it up.
billion-dollar industry. They making billions off of divorces.
All right, Ty.
Billions. Y'all better know what y'all doing.
We might have to come back with a part 2 of this one.
Okay, so
Back
real
next week for part 2.
right,
Yeah.
real quick. So we talking about Taste of Black Spirits.
Taste of Black
February-
Spirits real quick.
All right.
February 25th, 2023. Actually, it's going to start on the 23rd. We have a pitch on the 23rd. We have Liquid on the 24th and Taste of Black Spirits on February 25th.
Now listen, y'all. We talking about this early. I do not want to hear nobody coming to me afterwards talking about you didn't tell me, I didn't know, blah blah blah. You had time. You have time now to prepare.
I think we're going to probably just make sure everybody know every week. We'll do something
Okay.
every week. Put out a
Listen,
post something every week.
because after this last one, I didn't know you, but
And we're going to get some tickets away soon.
You will know.
right, for sure.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
All right, people. Thanks for joining us.
This has been
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just our opinion with Robin
Mike
and Ty.
and
Lazar, appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
the show. Let's go.
Deuces.
Deuces.